I'm Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, inviting you to join my co-host and I, Pastor Shannon E. Jones, each Tuesday, right here on Straight Talk from 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. And if you'd like to call in and join the discussion, you can call 470-251-0349. That's 470-251-0349. And if you'd like to be a guest on the program, we'd love to have you. You can email us at straighttalk1362@gmail.com. That's straighttalk1362@gmail.com. It's Straight Talk with yours truly, Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and Pastor Shannon E. Jones.
Hello, this is Pastor Reverend McGarman at Word of Faith Love Center in East Point, Georgia, and I watch Straight Talk with Pastor Fann, the Preacher Man.
You are now tuned in to Straight Talk Live with Greg Fann, where you are invited to have open discussions of topics ranging from social, political, economics, religious, or just open dialogue. So now, let's get to talking with Greg Fann.
Well, welcome today to another edition of Straight Talk with yours truly, Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and Shannon E. Jones. Boy, I tell you, with the fall and with the fall of the year, boy, it feels good. It feels mighty, mighty good. You know, there's a song that says California Dreaming. I wish I was in L.A. I don't think I wish I was in L.A. I like being here. I tell you, listen, we got a great program lined up for you today. It's a good one. That's a good one. It ain't just a good one. It's a good one. And we got Helen Butler of the People Agenda, the executive director of the People Agenda, is going to talk to us about what's going on during this election and how you and I can get involved. And we're going to have, Shannon and I, we're going to be talking. And listen, we want you to email us at straighttalk1362@gmail.com. If you're enjoying the program, if you like the program, email us. And if you want to just send us some emojis while this program is going on, send us some emojis. Send us some questions. Send us your concern. We'd love to hear from you. We're going to bring Shannon on, and Shannon and I are going to come, and we're going to interview Ms. Butler, and then after that, then Shannon and I, we're going to talk a little bit more about what's going on, and then we're going to have, you know what I'm talking about, you know what people are telling me about, that they said, why do you guys keep putting people in the trash can? I said, it ain't me, it's Shannon. Hey, we'll be right back with more Straight Talk, and with Helen Butler, and yours truly, Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and Shannon E. Jones. So with Straight Talk with yours truly, Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and Shannon E. Jones. And our guest today is none other than Helen Butler, the director of People Agenda. And I just want to say this, she's Miss Vote. Reverend Love was Mr. Vote, and she's Miss Vote. Yes, we're so glad to have you there, Helen. She's out there making sure people vote. I see her in the car.
You can't
yes,
do no TV
we've been out here
in the car.
We're out here today making sure people are ready to vote. We're protecting that right to vote. We had all of our coordinators from across the state here. Athens, Albany, Augusta, Macon, Savannah, LaGrange. So we're all here, Metro Atlanta. We're here getting people to know that we're here to protect our right to vote, and they don't have to worry about problems because we're here to help.
Helen, you know, you've been doing this for years. I mean, for years. And what do you see different in this election that have you seen in the past elections?
Oh, I can tell you, Reverend Fann, people are excited. They're standing in line regardless of barriers. You know, first week of early voting, we had all of the problems with long lines, people wrapped around the buildings. I had seen that since 2008 and 2012 when President Obama ran for president. But people are excited to express their voice about what's happening in the country with healthcare, paid family leave, the environment, criminal justice reform. All of that is driving people to the polls.
Well, I'm going to let Shannon ask you a question in a minute, but I just have to ask you this question because, you know, during this pandemic now, you know, our seniors usually, you know, they want rides to the poll and they want to make sure that they vote on election day. How is that working in terms of what you guys are doing to get people to the polls? And do you see seniors actually taking free rides to the poll?
Well, I haven't seen as many seniors as we normally do. People are using the vote by mail process, which is safe, which allows them to vote from the comfort of their home. It doesn't require them to be out in this COVID pandemic. So we're seeing a lot of people avail themselves of using vote by mail or absentee voting. It's been in Georgia for years. You don't have to have a reason. You just request it and you get your ballot mailed back to your home address. You fill it out and then you just drop it in the mailbox. And you don't have to do the mailbox. People are concerned, with the Postal Service changing their schedule, changing the way they work. A lot of counties have drop boxes. Fulton County has over 30 drop boxes. So we want people to use those locations where if you're in the county, you can drop your ballot in any of your county's drop boxes. You don't have to go to one location. If your county has more than one drop box, you can go to any one of those. So we want our seniors to use that process. But if they don't, we still have rides to the poll. We're working with a lot of ministers, have provided their vans and their drivers to say, if you want to ride to the poll, we can do it safely. We're not going to have a van full of people at one time, but we're going to take you and get you there. So we're asking people to request a ride during early vote so we don't have a lot of people waiting on election day.
All right, Shannon?
Helen, are you noticing a good amount, is it just me, or are you noticing a good amount of black men out voting this year?
I did see a lot of black men out voting this year. I see young people out voting this year. It is really wonderful. I am happy that people are exercising their right to vote this year.
Now, what kinds of disenfranchisement attempts are at play right now? Are we hearing any reports about that? And what can we do to stave that off?
Well, what we are hearing is that, the biggest voter suppression is the long lines. So we're asking people to go to the big places where they can do early voting, like State Farm Arena here, the Georgia International Convention Center. There's a big convention center up in Alpharetta that they can go to. Use all of the early voting locations. Don't just go to one and wait like a lot of people use Adamville's Recreation. Well, not too far away is State Farm Arena. You can take MARTA and it drops you off right there, so you don't have to worry about it. There's free parking at State Farm Arena. There's free parking at the Georgia International Convention Center. So we want people to use those locations. And in other parts of the state, we're looking at large locations like that as well. But what I found in rural Georgia, because my people in Athens and Albany and Savannah and Macon, they're saying, well, they only had one location open in Houston County for 150,000 people. One location. So it was wrapped around the building. And you can't have that. So people need to advocate for their election boards to open more locations during early voting.
Absolutely. So we're able to catch any of those issues. We're able to deal with them. Long lines are good for nightclubs, but they're not good for voting. I actually went to the Georgia International Convention Center, and from literally 20 minutes from the time we parked to the time we went back to the car, it was 20 minutes. So, it was not a very long line at all. 10 minutes for the voting process, and that's with us going over everything and checking it 3-4 times. So you're absolutely right about that. Clear this up for us. Where can people vote in terms of early voting? Can you vote? I hear people saying all kinds of stuff. You can vote anywhere in your county, or you can vote anywhere in the state of Georgia. What's the rule on that?
You can only vote in any early voting site in your county. If you don't live in that county, you cannot vote in another county. So if I'm working in DeKalb, I can't vote in DeKalb. I have to come to Fulton County, where I live. So you can only do it in the county where you are a registered voter. We don't have where you can go anywhere in the state and vote. But that's an issue we should be asking for next, is vote centers where anywhere in the state you could be able to vote. But right now we don't have that. And I do want to say that we're looking for volunteers to be election protection workers, to be our sight, our ears on the ground, to make sure voters don't encounter problems when they go vote. So we're doing that right now. We're training people. We plan to cover 88 of the 159 counties with election protection monitors. We'll have a toll-free hotline. We'll have lawyers on duty that if we need legal representation, we'll get it. There are free lawyers that are working with us to do that as a part of our election protection activities.
Well, I do have a question. I want to ask you a couple more questions. One of the things that, we talk about voter suppression and what's happening with voter suppression. What are you seeing in your experience in terms of the suppression issue that people are complaining about in terms of voter suppression? Do you see that actually really taking place in this election in our state, in the state of Georgia?
There are suppression techniques. I mean, like I said, the long lines, a signature not matching. Those are, having the exact match. Not having enough interpreters for people that don't speak English as a language. Gwinnett is the only county that is required by law to do that. But there are other counties like Hall and some other down in Valdosta that have large Spanish populations or Asian populations that you need material in more than one language. You need to have people that can really explain it to them. So you have that. What we had in Houston County that Eric was talking about, and down in Clay County rather, where they changed the polling location, where they only have one now. They changed it without notifying the people where it was changed. But yet they don't have people there directing people to the new location. That's voter suppression.
Helen, we got Saturday voting and Sunday voting. Can you talk a little bit about that in terms of, because like employers now, used to be a time to give people time off to go vote, but thanks be to God that some of our legislators saw fit to make sure that Saturday voting and Sunday voting was possible here in Fulton County. I don't know if it's in every county, but in Fulton County. Can you talk a little bit about Fulton County? And one other thing I do want to say, because I was one advocating that Mr. What's that man's name? No, not Bob, but whatever his name is. Know what I'm talking about. The director of the election officer for Richard. Yeah, that guy needs to go. I've been advocating he needs to go. But I saw that they put out this app. They have this app out now that really is a real good app. But thanks be to God, I understand it wasn't his idea. But anyway, but the reality, it is very accessible for people to get that kind of information right there in hand on the phone. But if you can talk a little bit more about Saturday and Sunday voting and a little bit about that app and how it benefits people who live in Fulton County.
Okay. Well, Fulton County does a lot of great things that the other counties don't do. We have 159 counties with 159 different election offices that do different things. But there is a mandatory Saturday voting throughout the state of Georgia. That's October the 24th. Every county has early voting on that Saturday. So we're asking everybody, take your family, take your friends to early vote on October the 24th. Now, Fulton, DeKalb, Cobb, and Gwinnett may have Sunday voting. I know Fulton definitely has Sunday voting. In fact, they had 2 Saturday votings and 2 Sunday votings in Fulton County. So this Saturday and next Saturday, the 24th, that's coming up, is really early voting, and we want people to avail themselves of that. Sunday voting, souls to the polls. We need the churches. I know they're not in session per se, in person, but caravan. Line up at the church. Get your cars. Everybody drive to the polling location so that you can take your souls to the polls on Sunday voting. And make sure that happens. So we're really encouraging people to do that. And you know, we have to give Lee May credit for down in DeKalb County for starting Sunday voting in DeKalb County. They were the first county that did that.
So can you talk a little bit about the app? And
Okay.
I have my phone, Shannon. You got your
Fulton
phone?
County has a
Told me to put my phone down.
Okay.
Fulton County has a great app.
Yeah.
It tells you everything you need to know. It tells you where your drop boxes are. It tells you where early voting. You can get the status of the absentee ballot on my voter page too. So it's everything. Check it. Download that app. For Fulton County, you can go to their website and it will tell you how to download the app so that you can have that information on your phone. Take it with you. And I'm asking people to get your sample ballot off my voting page. Print it out. Mark it. Make your selections. So when you get to, if you vote in person, you have it with you. You can take it with you. You can look at it. It will speed up the voting process. The other thing I want to remind people is,
Question.
Wait a minute. As Helen's saying
Okay.
something, you know you got to respect
Excuse
your
me.
elders,
Sorry,
okay?
sorry,
All right, just respect your elders. Come on here now. I mean, you was late getting here. Respect you.
one last thing on absentee voting. If you get your ballot and decide that you want to cancel it, you want to vote in person, take it with you because that speeds up the process. It's not required for you to take it, but I'm urging you to take it because it speeds up the process.
All right.
And what is the process? So you take it with you, and what happens to that?
They canceled that absentee ballot, and you have to sign an affidavit that you want to cancel it, but that cancellation happens quicker if you have the ballot with you. Once you cancel it, they're going to give you a little voting card. You go vote on the machine. Print out your ballot, scan it, and then get your sticker.
What would Reverend Joseph Echols Lowry be saying to you today about where we are in this nation and where we are with this vote, this early vote?
Well, he would be elated. I think he and Reverend Love, Reverend Orange, and Rita, they're all up there dancing together. And Mrs. Lowry, Mrs. Abernathy, C.T. Vivian, John Lewis, they're saying people are exercising their right to vote, and they are so happy because you can't sit down and let someone else take it, your vote from you, because that's your power. So they would be happy to see the turnout. But guess what? They'd be out, Reverend Love would be doing his caravan.
He would.
All right, Reverend Fann, are you taking up that mantle?
I got that mantle. I got that mantle. Believe that.
Yes, he would be going, okay, now we got to go to XX cities to get these people out to vote. We got to have a voter empowerment rally at church service. I guess it all have to be Zoom, Reverend Shannon. We get the young folks to be in on this, all right? Set up the Zoom, have all the people, have the speakers talking about why it's important to vote. If you want criminal justice reform, if you want health care, if you want paid family leave, you've got to be able to exercise your right to vote and vote the people in who are going to make those laws happen. We don't tell you who to vote for, but you can make an educated decision.
Yeah, because democracy is on trial. That's what I say. But listen,
It is.
let me just, Helen, I want to let you go because I know you're so busy. But you know, I always like to do predictions, right? Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes he's wrong and he's wrong and I'm right. But
Let
with
us
so many
pray.
with so many people who voting, with so many people that are voting now, and we're voting more now than we did in any previous election in the state of Georgia. I told Shannon my prediction is I predict we're gonna get 3 million people in the whole state of Georgia to vote in this election before this election is over with. That's including absentee, early voting, and people going in person. Because people are, like you said earlier, they're excited, they want to change, they want to see a change, and they're going to vote. What's your prediction?
Well, I think you'll exceed that because already 1.5 million have already voted after the first week. Okay?
So your prediction
So we got 2 more weeks of early voting.
Okay. So your prediction is...
Before,
Your prediction is
I
my
think
prediction is too low?
I think it's going to be close to 4 or 5.
4 or 5. Ooh-wee. Ooh, I got to, whoa, Jesus, I'm about to shout him.
I think he came in so low. I think he agreed. I think he agrees with you, Helen. He agreed with. He just lowballed it because he had a couple of misses there. He had some wins, but he had a couple of misses on that. You know, he more preacher than fortune teller. You understand what I'm saying? You know, he told me a couple of things over my life though. They came true. A couple of them came true.
Well, I'm not
I did lose that car.
Helen's trying to say something. Let her say something. I'm trying to get God. Helen, go on. Say what you're about to say.
I'm hopeful. I'm not a predictor either, but I'm hoping that's the number.
Okay. Well,
I'm trying to throw it out there so people will make it come true.
Well, I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged by your work, the work that you are doing with the People Agenda, the work that others are doing, because it's taking all hands on deck to make sure that we get people to the polls and that people actually vote. You know, vote,
right.
Registering to vote, and then you don't vote, then you don't matter to yourself. Folks said if you don't vote, you don't count. But if you don't vote, you don't matter to yourself, because it's really about you. And if you don't care about you, then don't vote. That's why I say it. But anyway, Helen, thank you so much for being with us today. God bless you.
Thank you, Helen.
Helen,
Y'all keep up the good work.
say that again.
Keep up the good work now.
We gonna keep up together. You know I'm getting old. I can't hear. Thank you, Helen. God bless you.
Thank you all.
All right.
Have you a good day. Bye.
Right. Bye.
Man, that was. I mean, Helen Butler, she's the truth, man.
Ain't nothing but the truth.
Nothing but the truth. I tell you, who are our next Helens, man?
You know, I'm just glad that you asked me that question. You interviewing me now. But I'm glad you asked me that question. I mean, really and truly, honestly, when we look around, who has the heart, the passion, and the drive that she has? I don't know, but I would certainly hope that people will understand it's not for celebrity, it's not for fame. It's been a servant. She's a servant.
She is.
She's been a servant and has done the work under Reverend Laurie, and it kept the organization, People's Agenda, strong and on the move. I just really pray to God that some young people like yourself will step up to the plate to understand it's about service. It's about being a servant.
Yeah.
It's not about being on the TV. It's not about being in the news. It's not about those things that many people would want to do, the reason they want to take on the role. But it's about work.
Right.
You know, she said all over the state. She's been all over the state of Georgia.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of wear and tear on her.
Yeah.
A lot of time, giving up a lot of things to make sure that people go to the polls and vote, and their votes are protected. So when you ask me that question, Shannon, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I see some sisters and brothers that are out there, but you know, we take for granted, like Helen's in the car today. Reverend Love, my last memories of Reverend Love is Reverend Love standing on a corner with a campaign sign, or at that night calling me to tell me I was late, or telling me that, you know, you should bring this amount of people with you. Why ain't you reaching out to this? Or,
Right.
You know, or stay in your lane. I mean, those were my last conversations. And to be honest with you, honestly, I took for granted that I still keep saying, I don't delete those numbers. These numbers still in my, but I can dial it all I want right now. And I can't get that conversation.
Well, I got some messages I got on my phone, some voice messages that he left for me. So if you still want to hear his voice,
that'd
saying
be
something,
good.
I'll let you hear him, you know.
But not taking it, you know, not taking, and really the Helens and the Loves, are, you know, are the wind beneath the wings of those who we saw in the forefront.
For real.
You know, like they didn't know left or right without their Helens and their Loves telling them this is the way to go. They were talented.
Right.
But with their talent, they needed someone to manage that talent and be directional for them. And so, man, just an awesome sister. Now, what did we think about what she said?
Oh, man, I think that, you know, I'm going to go to my prediction and her prediction. I'm with her prediction.
And now your prediction, and now you're going to step all the way out there.
Helen, I'm going with Helen.
You're going to step out there.
I'm going to miss
Don't just stay around Helen. Don't get crazy. I think it's going to be 8 million.
No, I ain't going that crazy. I ain't going that crazy. No. But I really appreciate, you know, the work that she has done and is doing.
Yeah.
And it's a tremendous task to try to get our Heather together to do anything.
Yeah.
And I just pray that after this election is over with, that people will see a different side of holding elected officials accountable. But before you can hold them accountable, you first have to hold yourself accountable.
That's right.
And that's not what many of us are doing here. We put people in office, and we're so busy, we don't know what's going on until the bubble busts. And when the bubble busts, then everybody want to say, what happened? How did they do that? When did they pass that law? Well, you know, you have to stay engaged in the process. You have to stay engaged with your elected officials. You have to know what's going on. And I know somebody, well, I'm too busy. I'm raising children. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, that, and the other. Yeah, but there's some things that's in your life that are important. And those people you put in power, influence over to make rules as to what you're going to abide by and be governed by, you need to know who they are and what they're doing and what rules they're making or policy they're making that's going to affect your life. So we should not let people come to us and tell us this and tell us they're going to do this and tell us they're going to do that. And when they get there and then they get somewhere and hide, or they make excuses as to why they can't do what they need, what they said they could do. That's what irks me, Shannon. It just irks me that we elect people, black, white, gay, straight, whatever you want to say, whatever a person's sex persuasion is or political party is. But we can elect people that get up there and tell us they're going to do something, then get up there and do something totally different than what they said they're going to do.
Yeah, that's right.
They don't, you know, they make excuses. I can't do it. The Republicans won't let me do it. The Democrats won't let me do it, so and so on. I say this all the time. Who hires somebody for a job? They tell you they're going to be able to do this job and get that in, and then they can't do it and make excuses.
The copier machine don't work.
Well, figure out.
Broke down.
I mean,
this wasn't running.
And then they fire them. People, they get fired. So only thing that I'm saying, you know, like you got fired for not cooking the French fry. Yeah. But I do thought I forgot that.
I said the fries, actually the burgers. I messed up on the burger. The man fired me. He said, man, the name of the company is Burger King.
Not Burger King.
If you can't make burgers, I'm pretty good with fries.
Okay, well, thank God. I think
I'm a fry king.
I think you But you know, you really have to understand, though, honestly, in terms of we get these people in office and they make excuses and they say what they can't do. They don't even attempt to. See, that's the problem that bothers me. It's not that they can't do it, is they won't do it because they don't make an attempt to do it. They don't make an attempt to do any of the things that they said that they're going to do when they get in office.
And I think it's two things you spoke to. First thing you said, people say that they don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
What if Fannie Lou Hamer didn't have time?
Correct.
What if Dr. King and Coretta Scott King and Reverend Abernathy and Bayard Rustin
Uh-huh.
said he didn't have time?
Right.
You know, Walter Fauntleroy said that they didn't have time, and I could call the roll, John Lewis and others. You know, these people.
Jose Williams,
they had children.
There's local people.
Yeah, they had children.
Yeah.
You know, not only you know, they had children. So the thing is this: look, get involved, because really, when you start getting connected and it builds community. You know, it's hard work to stay on it. It's hard work to be active. But isn't it? It's a great work, because you build relationships, lifelong relationships.
True.
So you know, get out. I try to tell my congregation this. I tell them this. You know, get up and just get active. Just start doing something. If it starts with the PTA, if it starts whatever, just get out and start getting it. You have a voice, all right, and nobody has this fingerprint. It's a reason why I think that is. I think God wants us to put our fingerprint there so he can say, that's my Greg, that's my Shannon, that's my Helen. You know, so I think that we all just need to get active and get out. And hell, if you don't do it now, I mean, you know, if you don't get engaged now, Bishop, then what are you waiting for? 4 more years of Donald Trump.
Oh, Lord.
And somebody black somewhere in America will be picking cotton against their will.
You know, I saw something, it's ironic you said, I saw something on Facebook, the statue of a hand, and that hand was picking cotton, and one hand was picking the cotton, and the other hand, the cotton was going into that hand. It's ironic you said that, because going backwards. So we have to look at where we are and where we're going. And the church, when I say the church of the living God, has a place in our society, because God established the church. Jesus said, upon this rock I'll build my church, and the gates of hell shall not. So the church is an institution that was not established by the world, world standards, but it was established by Jesus Christ himself when he said that upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. So the church has a major role. I was listening to...
And it's not a building.
It's not a building. I was listening to Representative Roger Bruce and Representative Derek Jackson. They do this thing under the Demon Dome. Oh, they call it the Gold Dome. I call it the Demon Dome. A lot of evil folks down there doing evil things, good people. And they had a brother from Impact, and they had Bishop Lackey on talking about the church and the church's role and what they see today. And they were talking about the 2020 vision. You know, the 2020 is supposed to be the year of vision, right? And so people are asking, well, what is the vision? What is the vision? Is what God is showing us. What he is showing us what he's in control. He's showing us that he's got all power. He's showing us these things, but we got to see. See, the problem is we see. We have saw, and now we're seeing. So some people see, some people saw, but some people now seeing that God is really still in control. It's not the politics, it's not the president, it's not elected officials, it's not people, the scientists, it's not the doctors, it's not your fellow human being. It's God that's in control, and God that turned the light switch on, and God that turned the light switch off. And if we don't follow the dictates of God, and people say, well, God gonna handle it. Yeah, but God gives us a will to do what we need to do, do. Yeah. Remember, and I don't want to preach it now, I know I have, but I remember in the Bible when he talked about it, when the people wanted a king. Mm-hmm. And you know the story, and they chose Saul. And the prophet said, y'all don't want this. Mm-hmm. Y'all don't want this. Y'all don't want this. And they said, oh, no, this is what we want. God said then, God said, well, I tell you what to do. If that's what they want to do, mm-hmm. let them have it. Mm-hmm. Let them have it. Yeah. And then what did they get? They were afflicted. Mm-hmm. They were burdened down under a wicked king. Mm-hmm. God has given us that same will.
They got COVID.
That same will.
BC.
That same will. Mm-hmm. And what we have done is, okay, prophets, okay, if that's who they want, then let them have them. And then they'll understand by who they should select who I say they should select. But if that's who they want, let them have it and let them feel the wrath and the punishment coming from that king.
Absolutely.
And they did.
Absolutely.
And they did. And those of us who know the Bible, you know the Bible, you know what I'm telling you is the truth. So what we're experiencing, it all begins and comes back to the Word of God and the church.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. And to the point of God giving us liberty. Mm-hmm. Okay, God is showing us that he's in control, but he gives us liberty. It goes back to a couple of questions. In the Old Testament, God sends Moses to Pharaoh. Mm-hmm. And Pharaoh gives a million excuses. He says, what's in your hand?
What's in your hand?
In other words, I'm going to do it, but I have chosen to do it through you.
Right.
But you still going to have to go face your Pharaoh.
You got to.
So you still going to have to get up. Don't sit on the couch talking in tongues and everything, mm-hmm. thinking that it's just going to happen for you. Go ahead, pray, talk in tongues, do it, get up, and go face your Pharaoh.
Go face it.
And then second time, folks is hungry. You know, Jesus had preached a great sermon, and the disciples said, hey, man, you know, this was a great sermon. You know, send the people home so they can go get something to eat,
yeah.
and we're going to go down in Morton's and get us something to eat,
yeah.
you know,
yeah.
take up a collection or something. And Jesus stopped and said, no, you give them something to eat. And they said, well, we ain't got nothing to feed them with. And Jesus asked, what do you have?
What do you have?
In other words, it's you're going to have to get up and do something if you want to see change, or it's going to continue to stay the same. If the disciples had said to Jesus that we don't have anything, then Jesus is saying, then basically the church is saying to those who are marginalized, who are hurt, who need someone to feed them, who need someone to help them, who need someone to save and deliver them. Basically, you're saying, we don't have anything. We're powerless to help you. So, yes, pray, right? But when you pray, pray knowing that God is going to send the answer. And that answer is going to come through you.
And you have to accept the answer when the answer comes. Stop being like the Braves pitcher, shaking them off and them hitting home run. Hey, that's straight
You
talk.
don't have to even bring the Braves.
That's straight talk.
We was doing fine.
That's
man.
straight
Bring
talk.
the Braves into
That's
it.
straight
And
talk.
we just
Those
lost.
people,
We just lost about 10, 15 years.
Listen, let God talking and telling you something. You sitting here talking, and he's already giving you the answer, and you keep on rejecting it. You keep on rejecting it. They're like Gideon with the fleece. How many times I got to come? If you show me this, if you show me that, if you show me this, you show me that, then I know it's you, God. He done showed you. You see, you saw, then you have seen. Now you ought to know.
Now you know.
That was my message this Sunday,
That
too.
was good. That's going to be my message next week.
It is. Okay.
Yeah, don't watch. You don't have to watch next week.
I won't have to watch.
You already heard.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. I know. See, the thing that we have a problem with is we keep doing the same thing, so we keep on getting the same result, and you already know.
That's insanity.
It is, and you already know what the outcome gonna come, but you know, but you keep doing the same thing. So let's hold people accountable. Let's go out and vote. The change you want to see has got to begin with you.
That's right.
And we have to pour into our young people and be an example for them so they'll know the way to go.
Yes.
Shannon, I want to get ready now. Shannon, I'm going to tell you, I love doing this program with you. You're not crazy, but I love doing this program with you. I mean, you special. You is special. So, people always talk to me and say, why is it that y'all be throwing people in the trash can?
Oh, man,
I said, you know what I tell them, Shannon?
Please.
Shannon, you know what I say? I take the fifth. It's Shannon.
Well, if you don't take out the trash, you got to take out the trash, man. You gotta take out
we'll be right back with Shannon.
We ain't got a whole lot. Just one. I think they was trying to throw it out anyway.
we got Shannon coming back with throw them in the trash can. Throw them in the trash can.
We are AFIA Environmental Group. My name is Yolanda Pitterstock, and I am an owner of Afia Environmental Group. We are here at Liberty International Church disinfecting for the COVID-19 virus. This disinfectant is a powerful disinfectant for the virus. However, it is safe for human consumption, and we will allow our technician to give you some additional information about the process, what he's doing, and how the chemicals work.
Chlorine vital oxide, which is a chemical that is used to kill mold, mildew, viruses, fungi. Actually, it's one of the best non-invasive chemicals on the market. As you see, we are here disinfecting this building without having to be in a full mop gear. What that means to you, that it is friendly when it comes into human contact, but at the same time, it has the ability and effectiveness to kill germs.
We are Afia Environmental Group. In addition to providing disinfectant services, we also carry hospital-grade medical masks and the KN95 mask. If you are interested in our services, please contact us at 404-973-0502.
Hi, and I'm on Straight Talk with Greg Fann, the preacher man, one of the greatest pastors in the communities that really care about our communities. We need more pastors like you who are on the ground working, and I appreciate your community spirit.
Don't you go nowhere. You stay right there, right here with us on Straight Talk with yours truly, Greg Fann, the preacher man, and Shannon E. Jones. If you'd like to be a guest, all you have to do is email us at straighttalk@gmail.com or call 404-308-0795. Because Shannon is getting ready to throw them in the trash can. Perhaps you know someone that need to go in the trash can. Give us a call or just email us. Shannon!
Well, it's time to take out the trash, man. Before we got to take it out, we got to put it in, And I'm telling you, this week, I normally have 2, 3, 4 people. Not this week. First of all, I don't want to go that long because, it ain't like there ain't going to be more trash next week. But just a lot of trash comes up, a whole bunch of dirt and stuff, But we had our political sanitation department out this week looking for stuff, and they went down to Macon because there was some funky stuff going down in Macon, and they went down in advance because they thought that it would happen because they saw, that there was going to be some type of a dangerous rally. We call those super spreader rallies, and they're not proliferating good. They're proliferating COVID-19. And it's really dangerous. I don't even know how we get into a mindset of saying that, it's okay for me not to wear a mask. It's okay for me to distance. It's as though, you're fighting against this thing. It's as though, that this thing in the air is a person or a country or something like that. It's not. It is a disease that is in the air. It is a viral disease that's in the air, and it's pandemic. It's all over the world. It's causing the world problem, and it's up on an upswing. But that doesn't matter for this rally. So this rally, they said, hey, come on down. Don't worry about a mask. Get together. Get close together. Get a little closer. Don't be shy. That kind of stuff. So they get all close together. And then one brother was in DeKalb County, and he decided that he was going to go down to Macon. My goodness gracious. I can't understand it. Step and Fetch It was someone that we all laughed at, but it was an actor that did something in a time when that was the only role that was allowed for a great thespian like him. Those were the roles that they gave to Hattie McDaniel, the great thespian that she was, and countless others. It didn't matter that we could act the great white actors off the stage, they saw us and made us maids and butlers and buffoons and all these roles. And so we saw down in Macon, Representative Vernon Jones, no relation. I just need to say no relation. I have checked it out. Others have looked into it. If we were on the same plantation, there was no relation. All right? But Vernon Jones goes down and gives a speech. And then afterwards, he jumps into the crowd and begins to dive in the crowd and let them surf him all around. Now, I think they were trying to do to him what we ultimately are going to have to do to him today. And I think that they were trying to throw his butt out or throw him in the trash, but they were surfing him around, and he's in the face of, I don't know if it was, I think it was thousands, but low thousands, wasn't many thousands, but low thousands of people that possibly, you know, have this virus. And he got no mask on, and he just smiling like stepping fetching, just moving around like a happy slave. I think that Vernon has gone to a place where the legislation that he's working on now is called "We Sick Boss" legislation. We scratching where we don't itch legislation. I don't know who he's trying to play. Who is his constituency? Are there others that support his shenanigans? Are there other buffoons like him? You know, I saw a sign on a car one day, and it said, "Somewheres in the world there's a village that's looking for its idiot." And I just wonder, is the village that he represents looking for him? Or are they joining with us today to finally throw his rusty dusty in the trash? Now, he had gotten out for good behavior, but then the Straight Talk Political Sanitation Department found him doing some more dirt, and they said, we have to throw this away because trash leads to disease and sickness, and so you got to throw it away and you got to send it away. Now, normally we put them in the trash, but today the trash can that you see, I want you to imagine it as a dumpster, because we're throwing him now in the dumpster. You go from the trash to the dumpster to the truck, and then that truck drives away. But this truck gonna crush it and drive away, because we got to get rid of this type of buffoonery. Here we are now 12 years after President Barack Obama placed his hand on a Bible on a Tuesday in January, and with great pride as a people who have struggled to press our way through in this nation, how proud we were when he stood there and took the oath of office and said those famous words, "So help me God." And then Chief Justice Roberts said to him, "Congratulations, Mr. President." 12 years ago, we were so proud. And here we are 12 years later, and this Negro is getting pushed around in an audience as a mascot without a mask on, as though he had not have a black mama that said, "Put your hat on, your mittens on, and wrap something around your neck." Vernon Jones, it is absolutely our responsibility to grab you before you further embarrass a race and throw you in the trash. No. There's no one down there to muff dive you around. No, there's no. You say what? But what's going to happen to what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And unfortunately, you are trying to show yourself as though you don't matter. We're saying Black Lives Matter, and you're busy showing and trying to prove that a generation of people who are fighting the world to say that their lives matter, that we have dignity. You want to? No. Nope, 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 nope. We putting you in the trash. Bye. No, no, no. No, oh, it stinks down there. Oh! I don't know if that's you or the compactor, but it's terrible. Bye, Vernon Jones. Now we need to get this trash out of here. So I don't want to see it. We fought too hard, bled and died. I don't want to see this type of trash. So let's get this trash out of here. Straight Talk, Political Sanitation Department. Get it out of here. Whew. Trash.
Thank you so much for watching today. Straight Talk. Invite your friends, your Facebook friends, and your YouTube friends. Share it with them. We on each and every Tuesday and each and every day. We preview this program over and over again. You know what? We want to make sure that you understand what's going on in this election. So if you don't vote, you don't matter to yourself. Do go to the polls and vote. Vote early. And if you're not going to vote early, send in your absentee ballots. If you're not sending in your absentee ballots, please go to the polls and vote on Election Day, November the 3rd. Democracy is on trial. Certainly it is. If you'd like to be a guest, you can email us at straighttalk@straighttalk@gmail.com, or you can call 404-308-0795, 404-308-0795. And may God bless you. Until next week, tune in and tell a neighbor, tell a friend to check out Straight Talk with Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and Shannon E. Jones. I'm Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, inviting you to join my co-host and I, Pastor Shannon E. Jones, each Tuesday right here on Straight Talk from 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. And if you'd like to call in and join the discussion, you can call 470-251-0349. That's 470-251-0349. And if you'd like to be a guest on the program, we'd love to have you. You can email us at straighttalk1362@gmail.com. That's straighttalk1362@gmail.com. It's Straight Talk with yours truly, Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and Pastor Shannon E. Jones.
Invite your Facebook and social media friends to check us out on Straight Talk with Greg Fann.